Hello and welcome to Up for Debate. I'm your host, Jim. You may notice our backdrop is a tad bit different today, and that's because we're in our classroom. As our studio is being renovated. Today we're exploring a very important topic. The question at hand is, can you trust local politicians and those in our local government? To help us answer our question, we have a special guest, Mayor Greg Pearl, the mayor of the Village of Allegany. We've prepared a series of questions designed to help us gain insight on who these local leaders are and whether our public trust in them is well placed. How are you doing, Mayor Pearl?
Good, how are you?
I'm pretty good. Thank you so much for coming on. So we have a series of questions here for you, and as customary to the Up for Debate format, you don't know these questions to avoid scripted answers.
Okay.
So let's just hop in with a simple question. How long have you been in office?
6 years.
Wow. How would you summarize your time in office and the people you serve?
Summarize my time in office?
Yeah.
Different. You know, no one, when you first run, everybody thinks they know, but no one really knows. Mm-hmm. Until you get into all the little details, the minutia, the stuff. There is, I always joke, because we're doing a sewer study, you know, and I know more about sewer than I ever thought could be humanly possible.
Sure.
You know, we're doing sewer flow numbers versus times and everything, but that's not something that 6 years ago, if you would have said, you know, you'll spend a great deal of time looking at how sewer flows, you know, I would not have believed that. But I enjoy what I do. I think that, you know, looking back on it, I wish I would have known more in the beginning, you know, about stuff that I'm doing, because I think the village would have been farther ahead. We are very focused right now on infrastructure, and we're getting there. But I think that if I would have known what I know now back then, you know, we've been farther ahead, but that's just my opinion.
That's very good. Just out of my own curiosity, how has it been serving like during COVID times?
And it's interesting. There's no doubt about it. It's interesting, you know, especially our budget comes out, our new budget starts June 1st, you know, and let's face it, you know, part of our budget is sales tax revenue. Mm-hmm. Now, we're on a sharing revenue with the county. So we estimate what we're going to get, and we're usually pretty close with it, you know, but during COVID, you just don't know. So you're putting down kind of like imaginary numbers, then hoping for the best, you know. And, yeah. You know, there was a lot of debate, and I think it's really interesting that people can always, you know, they can always say, well, this is the way it should have been. There was debate in the beginning whether we go half staff, full staff, you know, so we went half staff, and it was a decision I made, and oddly enough, it didn't go over as well as you would have thought with everybody on the board. But, I mean, we got through it, you know, and it is what it is, you know. But it definitely changes the way you look at things or do things.
Do you maybe regret going half staff?
Do I? No.
Okay.
No, I do not.
Yeah. All right, so let's move on to question 2. Trust in politics has been at an all-time low. Do you think there's a difference between local and national politics?
Yes, definitely.
What are some examples of that difference?
I think your local politician, for the most part, your local politician should be focused on you. You know, if like take Allegheny, for example. You know, I have people that call me at night, and they'll be like, well, there's this happening, or this happening, or this happening, and that's what they should be. I mean, I don't like being called at midnight or 1 o'clock. It's not like I'm like, woo-hoo, you know.
I got a call.
Yeah, exactly. But that's what we're there for, you know. And if you look at it any other way, then maybe you shouldn't be in office. You know, your local politician should be geared towards local, you know, and that's all you, my primary concern is the Village of Allegany and the taxpayers in the village. You know, outside of that, yes, I do care what happens, but my primary concern is the Village of Allegany. Am I going to make decisions that may upset or you know, be contrary to what other local municipalities like? Yeah, but if it affects the village taxpayer, you know, in a good way, it's something I feel I got to do, you know. And I don't think that there's as much party politics, you know, in play locally. I could be wrong, but I'm just speaking for, it's just my opinion and what I see in the village. I don't see a lot of party politics like we have. Our board is, I think we're all Republican except for Bob is a Democrat. You know, no one goes like, well, you know, he's a Democrat, you know. It doesn't matter. We all should be focused on what's best, whether you're Democrat, Republican, you know, undeclared, whatever. We should be focused on what's best for the village.
Yeah, I imagine it's a lot easier because you're focused on like a much smaller area, so you can focus on like
Correct.
the issues just
Correct.
there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, on that note, it's time for a short break to hear a word from our local ad council. We'll be right back. Oh, we'll actually be cutting to public opinion to hear what you guys have to say about the local politics. And then the commercial.
Hello, my name's Alex Luzio, and we're going to be going around and some field reporting and asking some questions for the local students for our broadcast today. Do you follow local politics?
Sort of.
Zach?
Not at all.
To an extent, yeah.
With a local politician, what do you think they'd have to do to gain your interest?
Be respectful on how they put their words and how they say things.
No, all politicians are crooked.
Basically just the fact that I live here, it's important that the local politicians kind of know what they're doing and that they can get the job done, so I'm not going to have any problems with just living my everyday life.
Probably make more LGBTQ positive statements, stuff like that, you know.
Say certain words that they do when they speak.
Actually do something about things that need to be done.
As my interviews progressed, I saw that many people in our community don't know enough about their local leaders, or just don't have enough of a relationship with them to build trust.
Stuff and just not trying to put on a face in front of everybody else just to try to gain some extra votes here and there. Just the most down-to-earth person, honestly.
This place that I call I want to explain it to her.
As the COVID-19 vaccines become available, you might be asking yourself, should I get it? And if I do, will I be able to go about life without putting my family at risk? You've got questions, and that's normal. The fact is, the vaccines are safe and effective. They're going to save lives. To get the latest on the COVID-19 vaccines, visit getvaccineanswers.org, because getting back to the moments we miss starts with getting informed. It's up to you.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible. She must be a keeper.
Welcome back to Up for Debate. We're back with Mayor Pearl. This is probably my favorite question. What image do you hold among the people of the village?
What image do I hold?
Yeah, like what do people think about you?
That's hilarious. No, seriously, that's hilarious. Because I am part-time, and because I think, this is all I think, but I think because I run, unopposed and, this and that, I don't think a lot of people actually know who I am. Seriously.
Really?
Well, I'm honestly, it's funny because I work another job, and those guys bust on me all the time, and they'll be like, "Hey, Mayor," And I said, if you go to the Village of Allegany and you ask 20 people, probably 12 of them would go like, well, I don't really know,
It's really interesting.
It's funny. I know that some people, because of changes that we've made, infrastructure-wise, that benefited them. I know that they like me, and other people, they're just like, hey, taxes haven't gone up in 6 years. Whatever that dude's name is, he must be doing something. So I'm good with that, And I think that's the way it is. It's really funny because we really haven't had like that heated race, We do caucuses, and which I'm not a big fan of, because and which is how I got elected. But we go into the caucus and you bring your people and they say, well, blah 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 blah. Who do you nominate? Somebody nominates and then they vote, and usually it's that person that's pushed through. And for myself, I got cross-endorsed by the Republicans and the Democrats the last 2 times that I did run. So not a lot of people come out to vote. I mean, they feel there's no reason to. We'd like to change that just to get more people involved, but we'll see.
Well, the question that goes along with this is a little awkward since not many people view you in a certain way, but how would you like to be viewed, I guess?
How would I like to be viewed?
Yeah, what would you say is an honest version of yourself that you'd like the people to perceive you as?
I guess a good guy, an honest guy, and a true village person, I always tell, well, with our PD, there's cops and then there's village cops, You would think that they would be the same thing, but it's not, And I think there's politicians, then there's local politicians, And you would think, again, it'd be the same thing, but it's not. And my explanation towards that is that, we have to do things that help people out, where it might be like, I don't have time for this, I don't have this and that on a larger level, But we have to take the time to help them out and figure that out. So after I get out of office, I really hope that people look at me or say, as long as I'm still standing, look at me and say, you could tell he was there because things are better for me, Our road is not flooding. Our water is now clearer and better than it was. Our taxes haven't gone up, whatever it is. I would just like to be viewed as someone that did make a difference, That's it. That's it.
So here's a question. Do you think you are transparent when it comes to the village budget?
Do I think we're transparent? Yes.
How do you feel about transparency in all policies?
What do you mean?
Well, in everything that you do you feel that you are transparent, and how do you feel like you, accomplish that, I guess?
As far as the budget, I think we're very transparent. There's really no room for error, and that is a huge debate going on right now. I am not under, I don't adhere to the philosophy, just raise taxes because people are used to it, I just don't believe in that, you know what I mean? I think that there's ways to make cuts, you know, that we can do that without losing services and everything is out there. You know, everything is out there, especially now with social media. If we do something or we spend money, you know, out of the budget, I try to get it on social media. You know, we recently upgraded one of our lift stations for sewer. You know, we took pictures, we put it out there, you know, this and that. So social media, I think, has changed a lot. And I don't think that while the village uses it, I don't think we use it as much as we should, you know. And I don't, as far as everything else goes, as far as, the inner workings of the village, I mean, there's really not a lot after the budget, you know. I mean, we don't hire a ton of people, you know. Some of our guys have been there for over 20 years, you know. So there's no, like, I'll get Cousin Joe in, you know, or anything like that. And so I think that we're very transparent, you know. Now, have I been in any other office to see, you know what I mean, like comparing like my other stint as a politician? I don't have that to compare to. But I feel that we're very transparent.
Very good.
You know.
So this is the final question. Young people typically struggle with being active in local government. What do you suggest in order for future generations to be involved?
I think that younger people struggle to be involved or whatever because I think that a lot of times that you guys feel that the door is not open to you, you know. Our girl that is in charge of social media, Jilly, she started when she was a senior in high school. Now, I just, you know, like, I just let her go. I mean, whatever she had to do, you know, she'd run it by me only, you know, only because I didn't want her putting something out there and having, like, somebody go, wow, you know, this and that. I would just take the bullet for that.
Yeah.
You know, but I'd let it go. And I just can't tell you, she graduated from Bonus, you know, and she did get on me about the whole Twitter tweet, because I don't do that, you know. I don't understand it, you know, but the door should be open. I think that the door should be open and the youth should be welcomed. I mean, because you guys are our future, you know. I just think that anything we can do, you know, we should be doing. You know, I wanted, like, more involvement in this and that, and this was really a bad year all the way around. I wanted to be more involved with the Boy Scouts and stuff like that, so that they could come up, you know. They could come up to me and say, hey, you know, hey, what's going on, Greg? You know, this and that, or whatever, you know, in my, oh, this is going out, so I guess it won't be the secret stash, but I have a secret stash in my office, and it's got, for younger kids, but it's got, like, suckers, candy, coloring books, you know. Okay, the Tootsie Rolls have been broken into, but they're there, you know what I mean? Because I don't mind. I don't mind kids. I don't mind kids coming up to me, you know, and asking any questions or wanting to come into the office or whatever. We should find time. That's the only way, you know what I mean? But you need to feel welcome too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the big key.
Yeah.
You know, you need to know, and I don't know how we get that out there. That I'm on we have a group that gets together. We used to get together before COVID, municipal officials, and I'm just speaking from what I see them. I think most of the guys that go to that meeting would love, you know, the people that go to that meeting would love to have, you know, somebody come up and say, hey, look, you know, why are you doing this? Or, you know, could I spend some time talking to you, or whatever. You know, I never turned this down. I did not, like, when it first came up, Fridays are a pain in the butt for me, okay? And when Alex's mother asked me, You know, yeah, part of it was because it was Alec, but the other part was because I truly enjoyed being around you guys. You know, we started in Allegheny. We started this group that since disbanded, but we did a first night for middle school kids. You know, and the first one, my wife and I chaperoned it. The first one, they were kind of like leery of me, you know, because I'm not tiny. You know, and after the second one, and you start seeing the same faces, and some of the comments that are made, and everything, you know, and they're screwing around. That's what I enjoy.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I truly enjoy, and I think that, you know, this good old boy system that's in place, I think everything would be a lot better if we just, you know, I know this is not kosher to say, if we just got a little younger. You know.
Yeah.
Because the perspective is different.
Yeah,
you
for
know?
sure.
So.
With that, it's time for our final commercial break. We'll return shortly with our closing statements.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
I've heard people make comments like, thanks for bringing the virus over.
Didn't it come from you guys?
A passenger told me that I should go back to China.
I've had strangers cough at me.
People move away from me.
Someone spit 3 times towards my direction. I felt so violated. My biggest fear is that all the stereotypes that we've worked so hard to break are just going to be reversed. And I won't let that happen.
Everyone has to keep everyone else safe. We all have to play our part.
I've been spending 8 to 10 hours a day making masks.
I donate my plasma.
As an essential worker, I'm delivering food, groceries for my community.
I mean, I know I'm putting myself at a little extra risk. I'm happy to do it.
It's really hard to talk about racism when all I want to do is cry about it.
You have to talk about it to other people. You have to tell them these things exist.
We're all human.
I'm a firefighter, not a virus.
I'm a mask maker, not a virus.
I'm a nurse, not a virus.
I'm a delivery woman.
I'm a rideshare driver.
I'm a chef, a neighbor, artist,
Bus driver.
I'm a doctor.
Fight the virus, fight the virus.
Pearl for joining us today, and thank you viewers at home for watching. Please join us next time on Up for Debate as we continue our deep dive into local issues and plans for the future of our community.